Hi, and welcome to this quick walkthrough of the VagaBOND beta release that we just put out. So when you're using this app, I really want you to think about the purpose of it. And what that is we give you the ability to create trips, build custom lists within those trips, and then add points of interest to those custom lists so that you can remember them for future travels. So this is not going to be a great tool for discovering new things to do. Really, this is a bookmarking tool. And that's what the core functionality of this limited beta release is. We needed to get it in people's hands. We wanted to get people start using it so we can gather some feedback. And it is going to feel a little limited, but that is completely intentional as we work on additional features. So let's hop into how to create a trip. Really simple. Now, there's two options on the screen. You see we can create a new trip or we can get started. If you do not have an account yet, I really recommend that you press the Get Started button. That's going to bring you to a login screen. If you haven't signed up yet or don't have an account, below the login button, click on Don't Have an Account, pop in some of your personal information here, and then go ahead and click Join. After you've done that, let's click the Login button. We do have the Create Trip button here at this page when you have not logged in yet. The reason for that is I didn't really want to gatekeep, so I wanted users to be able to experiment with some of the functionality of the app before being required to create an account. Sometimes that always kind of like pisses me off when I download a new app and I can't do anything with it until I log in or create an account. So I did want to give a taste of that functionality. So you can, if you want to, go through creating a new trip, adding lists to it, and points of interest. The only downside is it's not going to save them anywhere. So you're getting a taste of the functionality, but I don't want you to do too much work and then realize, oh, that didn't save anything. Great. That was a waste of my time. So if you have any interest or you think that you'll use this app at all after watching this video, I really recommend just pressing Get Started. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here, and we're going to see that I've got a list of trips that I've already created. Now, this is the purpose of the app. These trips are going to exist here until I hopefully check most of these off. Now, another example here is I made this Florida random trip. This is places that I was just at when I was in Central Florida that I wanted to remember and I wanted to revisit. So trips can have multiple different purposes. Maybe you wanted to remember some of the places that you went to, and maybe you want to remember places that you want to go to. So let's take a look at a trip. Within a trip, we have custom lists that have been made. Now, if you're going to notice the way that I organized this, I made it by sort of city or area. So I've got Bangkok, Koh Phi Phi, Koh Phangan, and Koh Tao. Also Chiang Mai. So how do we create a custom list? If we click the plus button at the bottom right hand corner, we can go ahead and click the list icon, and now you're going to see that's going to give us a new list. We can long press on the name, and we can go ahead and name that list. Pai is another place in Thailand I love. If you ever get a chance to go there, you must go. So we've created a list. What do we do now? Let's add a point of interest to it. Simply like clicking the search field up above, I can say Bon Pai Riverside. This is a place that we would usually stay in. I love these little tiki huts. So if you look, I'll zoom in here. We can see it's right along the river. So you got all these really cool traditional tiki huts. And at night, you listen to the bullfrogs, you listen to the river come through, and I really love this place. So how do we save a point of interest? Well, we simply click on the Save Point of Interest button, and then you're going to see that all of the lists that I created are going to populate here. Now, one word of warning, if you do not create a custom list within a trip, when you click this Save Point of Interest button, nothing's going to populate. So make sure you create a list first and then add a point of interest to it. So we just simply click the check mark next to Pi and click Done. And now if we swipe to go back, you'll see it's been added into that list. So it's really simple. Now let's look at another example of a point of interest page that may have a little more information on it. So we'll go to Rambutri Village Hotel, and as you can see, we've got info here. So understated budget hotel offering a restaurant, 2 rooftop pools and massage services. We've got an address. The cool thing about this is Say in the future you're on a trip, you can pull up your point of interest and just quickly click the address. It'll open whatever your native Maps app is. So if you're on an iOS device, that might be Apple Maps, it might be Waze, it might be Google Maps, but it gives you the ability to quickly sort of navigate to it. So there is some functionality behind the ability to click on that address. We also got a website. Say if we want to book, we can go ahead and click through to the accommodations website. If it's a tour and they have a website, you can go ahead and click through to that here. We can see that we can check our dates and book for Rambutri Village. So there is some functionality there, but the main functionality of these point of interest pages is going to be to save them to your lists. So let's go back. And as we see, we've added a lot of points of interest here, so our trip is really starting to come together nicely. What are notes and checklists? Well, if you click on that, you're going to see we have a plus button in the bottom right-hand corner. That now gives us the option to create a new note or create a checklist. So let's go ahead and create a new note. We're going to see here, new note pops up at the bottom. We can go ahead and click to edit that title if we want. Now let's just say things to remember. And I am capitalized, so I'm shouting at my phone. Things to remember. And we can go ahead and we can click the text to be able to add new information to that note. And we'll just say new info. So it's really, really simple. Most of these things are a long press. If you want to delete any of these notes or points of interest, you just swipe and then you click the trash can icon and that'll take care of it for you. So under points of interest, you swipe, click the trash can icon. If at any point you want to delete a custom list, click the 3 black dots there at the top of the list and select delete list. I'm not going to do that because I put a lot of time and effort into putting these points of interest on there. If you want to delete a trip in the future, what you can do is just click the 3 white dots on the top right. You'll see delete trip pops up. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to click the 3 white dots again. And that basically is really how simple it is to create a trip within the VagaBOND app. So you can see I've got a few already created and already starting to populate with things that I want to remember for the future. So let's talk about the profile. Now the profile is really, really simple, okay? We give you the ability to edit some of your personal information. You can see we've got the name, we've got our home country. If we long press on the profile picture, that'll allow you to upload a new one. We long press on your catchphrase here up top. You'll see that we can go ahead and delete this. I'm going to stick with can do because it's sort of my thing. Clicking the blue check mark at the top right, we'll go ahead and accept those changes. We can also update our bio. So all my information in there is good to go. I'm going to go ahead and just press that blue check mark again to accept those changes. Now you can see that we've got a little moments section where we can upload some personal memories from trips in the past. To delete those, you'll select the small thumbnail of the picture you want to delete down at the bottom and long press that until it disappears. And then we've got an option to log out. So that really covers a lot of the functionality for this first beta release. Again, I really appreciate your time, your support. I hope everybody enjoys the use of the app. Hope you guys get to start building out your trips for the future. And hopefully this becomes a really useful tool for you in all of your future travels. So thanks for your time. Take care and stay safe.